And welcome to Houston, Texas, as the 27-54 Rockets take on the 47-34 Atlanta Hawks. The Hawks have already clinched the playoffs. They're just looking to make sure no one gets injured before going into the NBA playoffs. Take a look at Trae Young. He's had another great season. The Rockets, though, looking to upset a playoff contender here tonight. Jae'Sean Tate is available and will start tonight for the Houston Rockets. So the same starting five. Trae Young and Bogdanovich look up the backcourt along with DeAndre Hunter and John Collins and Clint Capella, who holds such a big defensive front court for the Rockets, for the Hawks. As we take a look here, this is going to be a bit of a season review. This game, I think, is really good. So hopefully you'll be able to enjoy it. But I just wanted to take this time to talk about, as a good three there by Kevin Porter Jr., the team outlook going into the offseason. The offseason is already recorded. It's already been edited and exported. So all I got to do is just upload it to YouTube, and you guys will get it whenever I decide to make it, I guess. Whenever I decide to make it public. I recorded almost 9 hours of 2K on Saturday. I did the off-season, I did these two games, and I did the Summer League, and I'm about to record the training camp video because I wanted to play with our second-year team that badly. So you'll see all that coming in the next week. Hopefully I can get the entire off-season done. I don't know if I want to release all of it this week. I'm thinking I'll release it later, but we're getting off topic. Anyway. So, John Collins hits that three. Let's talk about the starting five. Christian Wood is Christian Wood. He played a nice, solid season. 19 points, 13 rebounds. He held his own offensively and defensively, and he's an athletic big who can shoot a bit of a three ball. As long as he wants to be on the team, we're going to give him max money. We're going to give him a starting role pretty much for the foreseeable future. KJ Martin Jr. played solidly. I'd like to see a bit of an improvement on the defensive end of the ball. That's fine. This man right here is the man we're going to talk about last. Kevin Porter Jr. 6 assists is pretty good. Kevin Porter Jr. played very okay as the point guard for our team. I do think his dribbling ability isn't quite as good to break down defenders as it should, but his passing ability is more than enough to carry the point guard duties. You will see in the offseason, though, Kevin Porter Jr. had one of the worst plus or minuses on the team. I think he led our team in turnovers. Defensively, he wasn't great. So I think challenging him into the offseason, next year is the last season of KPJ's contract. I want to see him improve defensively. I want to see him improve on his decision-making. And I want to see him improve on his three-point shooting. 31% isn't bad from the three-point line, but I would love to see higher than that, probably in the 35s. Anything better than 31%, because KPJ was left open a lot on threes, and that's just catch and shoot opportunities. Who knows what he could do if Kevin Porter Jr. could develop a way to create his own three-point attempts. But starting small forward Jae'Sean Tate had a bit of a down year. Jae'Sean Tate's defense was a bit overrated for me. He didn't develop the way I wanted him to. His three-point shooting is very poor at 29%. I don't know if he's going to be on this team next season. Jae'Sean Tate has experienced frustration with the team's state, so we will see what we will see what his future will be. He did not get traded during the deadline because I didn't have anyone to replace him. Mark Maggetti did kind of come out and have a good, solid starting spot when Jae'Sean Tate went out with injury, but to be quite honest, I don't know. We'll see. Jae'Sean Tate's future is up in the air. Jalen Green. What can I not say about Jalen Green? Jalen Green is a dog, bro. Jalen Green started out the season a bit rough. His three-point shooting wasn't as great as I wanted it to be. He started in the 33s of percentage-wise. I said his finishing at the rim needed to improve. So Jalen Green started as our primary defender, who was an athletic freak. Now, at the end of the season, Jalen Green has developed to not only be our primary defender, but a great passer, ball handler, still an athletic freak, has had a ton of rookie posters. I would like to see him improve his non-dunking ability at the rim. I still think that should improve a bit. But other than that, he's become an absolutely elite three-point shooter. As we take a look here, look at that tip. I've never seen that before in 2K. Gallinari tipped it into the bucket. But he's become an elite three-point shooter at 36%. He led all rookies in all the three-point categories. Jalen Green next season is going to have, I think, Jalen Green's definitely going to have a huge year next year. Unfortunately, we did not have a player average 20 points or more. Christian Wood was 1 point short with 19. Kevin Porter Jr. had 16 points, and then Jalen Green had 16 points as well. But Jalen Green finished with 36% from the three-point line, and that's solid. That's good. Jalen Green is an animal. He has shown he can do catch and shoot opportunities. He can create his own shots. I do think the mid-range is still a bit of a game he needs to work on, and he needs to work a bit on finishing at the rim, drawing fouls. And then, of course, I would like to see his defense improved. He was our primary defender, but that doesn't mean our defense was good. I think we gave up the third most points in the league. That just isn't good, because our defense and our offense were both bottom half of the league, which means they need improvement going into the draft. So, with that being said, Jalen Green definitely is the man of the future. All right, for sure. As you see, Jayshawn Tate, nice bucket there. Going to the bench, Isaiah Thomas did exactly what we wanted him to do this entire year. He came in, took the backup point guard veteran role. He became a mentor for Kevin Porter Jr. and the guys, and he dropped 8 points per game. Solid. Pretty solid. I think he shot like over 40% from the field and around 30-something% from three. That's solid for a guy who no one wanted to sign. I will say another thing with Jalen Green is he needs to learn to... he did hit that, though. That's a pretty good shot. Jalen Green needs to learn a bit better. I want to see him improve finishing. Finishing over smaller guys. He needs to improve on, and he needs to improve on his dribble moves to kind of break down the defender. He's not as good as that, but that'll come with time. Good pass there over to Jayshawn Tate. I felt like we were going to win this game after that shot. My confidence was pretty high playing this. So Isaiah Thomas, will he return next year, though, is up for debate. We will see, because obviously he's going to regress because he's 32. Eric Gordon, surprisingly, I expected to trade this season. He played well. 12 points per game, solid three-point shooter, good charge taken there from Isaiah Thomas. Eric Gordon's a great defender, good finisher at the rim, a bit of a streaky three-point shooter, but for the veteran Eric Gordon he played well. His contract is definitely not worth it, but what am I going to say, right? Because our team doesn't necessarily need cap space at the moment. We're not looking to sign a crazy guy yet. We're still looking to maintain our identity. I don't want to have to sign someone like Bradley Beal in free agency or sign someone like Kyrie Irving or something and then have Jalen Green's development be stunted because we now have a star on the team. That's why. So going into the offseason, Eric Gordon, I am going to shop him during the draft just because, but honestly, we will see what happens with Eric Gordon. He played well, though, this season. It's just unfortunate that his age and his career timeline doesn't match up with our team timeline. Good pass there. Good dunk there from Okongwu. We were in this game. I felt like we played very well this game. We were in it. Good dunk there from Jayshawn Tate. I'm trying to think of every other one. Mark Maggette played well. Sekou Doumbouya played about as well as you could expect. It's pretty clear he's probably going to be a bust. He wants way too much money in a rookie extension, but I am tempted to see if he can improve. Mark Maggette did about as well as an undrafted guy can do. We will definitely take a look at him in free agency as Bogdanovic goes absolutely ham here in the third quarter. Şengün came in because we were bad, so I let the young guy play, and he's all right. He grabs a decent amount of rebounds, finishes over mismatches inside. He's an okay guy. I want to see him improve defensively next season, but his playmaking is something I think we need to utilize a bit more. He's not a bad passer. I just don't use him enough on the passing lanes, so I think getting Şengün a bit more involved in playmaking off the bench next year will definitely be good. It's also nice to kind of have a insurance policy in case Christian Wood leaves, because Christian Wood is an expiring deal next season. So him and Kevin Porter Jr. could leave in free agency for nothing, and that's something I'm very worried about. It's a good bucket there from Trae Young. Usman Garuba ended up getting the playing time in this game over Sekou Doumbouya because Garuba has shown to be pretty much not quite on the same level of athletic ability as Doumbouya, but in terms of like general offense, both players score using their raw athleticism. Doumbouya can jump high and he can dunk. That's pretty much all you can do for him on offense. His three-point shooting and jump shooting is very inconsistent. Same with Garuba. He is an athletic guy. He can catch lobs. Can't really create his own shot or shoot the three ball. His passing is underrated, but still not quite where it's at. But Garuba's defensive ability is much better than Doumbouya, and that's why Garuba got some playing time to test out his defensive ability in the post, and the rebounding end, and the perimeter defense. And although Garuba missed the lob there, I think Garuba definitely has a good chance of making the rotation next season and seeing where his game goes in his second year in the league. That pretty much covers everyone. Daniel Tice ended up losing his rotation spot, not because he's bad, but just because I wanted to play the young guys over him, and he definitely has expressed frustration in not playing to the role he likes, although he hasn't given up on the organization completely. So we'll see if Daniel Tice is probably the most primary trade target. DJ Augustine, just another veteran on the team, didn't quite give me enough. Isaiah Thomas, I think, operated as a much better veteran presence than Augustine did. And that pretty much covers everything. So we finished pretty low in the Western Conference. I think we were the last place in the Western Conference. This game wouldn't have changed any seeding. So whether we win or lose this game, we still would have been last in the Western Conference. So our draft pick is going to be relatively high. I do believe the Pistons and the Magic finished lower than us. So you'll see all that in the off-season. Pretty much going into the off-season, we're just looking to bring in young guys pretty much at all positions, because with Kevin Porter Jr. and Christian Wood being expiring contracts, along with Kenyon Martin Jr. as well, there could potentially be a lot of guys who want to leave our team, which are going to leave very big holes in the rotations. So bringing in young guys to secure them for long term in case Kevin Porter Jr. and Christian Wood decide to pack it up in Houston is going to be a good insurance policy. And I think as much as I like Şengün, I don't know if I like Şengün as our long-term starting center. So we'll see. Kevin Porter Jr. is an okay point guard, but I would not mind an upgrade. It all depends on how well we play next season. Is the big one, right? Isaiah Thomas showed a lot of heart in this game with getting illegal screens. He took the charge. You saw him reignite Isaiah Thomas in the game against the Wizards. Isaiah Thomas really did show why he belongs in the league, at least on an NBA team this season. He did not play poor in any way whatsoever. 8 points, and the fact that Isaiah Thomas's play for winner is very important. But he was on the worst team in the Western Conference, and his morale didn't affect his overall in any way, shape, or form. Isaiah Thomas was just happy to be playing a role on an NBA team. And to be honest, that's the exact type of locker room guy that I like, despite him being older than everyone else on the team. So I think Isaiah Thomas had a very successful season. If we don't re-sign him, I hope he at least makes it onto an NBA team. But who knows? We'll see when the offseason is done. We'll see John Collins will get the bucket there, or he'll miss the bucket there. And Jayshawn Tate will drive it up to Kevin Porter Jr. I swear, I got to think of a nickname for both of them. Christian Wood gets inside on John Collins. He's going to get doubled, though. And we see KPJ should not have cut to the rim there. I think our team is in a very interesting position because we have Jalen Green and Christian Wood, who are two players who can drop 20 and both drop 20, average 20 in a season. But then you have people like KPJ who can drop 16 and 6. And you're starting to wonder, we have some offensive capability on the team. We just need some defensive. We need a lot more defensive stuff. Kevin Martin Jr. has a great three ball, and he's athletic, and he can block shots and rebound. But as far as like lockdown defender, he doesn't really have what it takes yet. And I would love to see him improve on that area. And as far as our small forward goes, you see Jalen Green with another rookie poster. I would like to have a defensive guy there. Whether it's Jayshawn Tate or a draft pick, I want a defensive prospect there. I love my two-wing threes. You know, I feel like a lot of championship teams have two-way small forwards, like Chris Middleton, like Jimmy Butler, LeBron. You know, those type of guys. So having a good wing is very important. I think Jalen Green, staying at the 2 is the way to go. His weight concerns me for the 3. Being only 186. But I'm getting tired here. Whew. A lot of recording and editing I've been doing this past week. But overall, I think our team is in a good spot. The Magic are definitely the only other team below us that, I don't know. I think we're in a good spot because the Magic don't really, they get they're the worst team in the league, so they're expected to get the first pick, right? But, they don't have a stud like Jalen Green on Christian Wood on their team, like we do. They are just overall full of young guys trying to prove themselves, whereas we have two cornerstones of a team like Wood and like Green. Green being only 19 years of age. I believe, unless he's 20. I'm pretty sure he's 19 though. We got a lot of development to do. The development staff on our team needs to be top-notch, so if we blow any of that, expect to make some staff changes. I do think Steven Silas can safely say he has a job. I think our offense needs to be refined a bit. I don't like how ISO-heavy our offense is. That's just not how 2K operates this season. It's just pick and rolls is what needs to happen a bit more. So as far as isolation, maybe our players will be good enough to isolate next season, but I want to run a bit more pick and rolls, a bit more pick and rolls, so Christian Wood can be put in positions to score a bit more. Because I think Kevin Porter Jr. and Jalen Green are good enough to where they can make the right pass on pick and rolls. And that's my offensive plan going in the next year. Good lob there from John Collins. We take a look here at the end of the game. We were really in it throughout almost the entirety of the game. And we showed a lot of heart with Kevin Porter Jr., but like most young teams, we just ran out of steam at the end. Trae Young kind of caught fire And I had Jalen Green on him, but Trae Young is just so quick and crafty. I didn't want to foul. And Onyeka Okongwu really put the defensive work on Christian Wood this game. Same with DeAndre Hunter on Eric Gordon. And Kevin Porter Jr. just didn't have the quickness and the moves to break down Trae Young off the dribble, and I wish he did. You see Bogdanovich just absolutely turned it up in the second half. Defensively and offensively, Bogdanovich played big in this game. I'd say he was the catalyst for the momentum turning there in the fourth. We still got close, but we see this play right there. I just gave him too much space with Jalen Green, and Trae Young's got 30. He's dominated. Jalen Green is our best defender. It may not be a bad thing. As we see, look at that. Bogdanovich closed out huge on that three. Christian Wood gets this bucket here, but I just don't think Jalen Green being our best defender is a recipe for success. I think Jalen Green being our second best defender can work with his size and his ability. So I need a defensive prospect at the 3 or the 4 is what I'm thinking. Obviously, you want a rim protection center, but I think Christian Wood serves that purpose well enough at least. We see here, Kevin Porter Jr. just couldn't break down Trae Young off the dribble, and this was an open shot, and I took my time a bit with it, and that's what led Trae Young to get back into the play. A lot of mistakes here from me. But yeah, we just ran out of gas, man. We didn't have enough in the tank to successfully fulfill this comeback. I know I spoiled it a bit here, but that's pretty much all I got left to say. That was our season in review. I did do the first season very quickly, mostly just because almost all franchises get interesting after the first season when people start to, players start to move a bit. Draft picks get taken. We have draft picks. We have free agency money to spend. I can start building the team a bit more the way I want, rather than having Daniel fucking Tice on the team. So that's gonna be it. I'm gonna sign off here a bit early, but that's okay. You can watch the end highlights of the game, maybe even take a look at the box score at the end here if you want. Jayshawn Tate's miss here pretty much sealed the deal. I'll see you guys in the off-season. That will be uploaded very shortly. I'm actually uploading it right now while I'm recording this commentary. I'll catch you guys next time in the off-season and soon in the home opener.